Okay, now you guys can hear me. But what I was saying before I was interrupted with the internet and then the mic not working. Man, what a Christmas Eve! All right, there we go. Now you guys can hear me. Should be good to go. Um, it's time to put this whole topic with Zach Wilson to bed. Um, it's a wrap for him. It's a wrap. So, but let's get straight into the meat and potatoes of the show, man. Let's go straight into the power rankings. Pretty simple here. Still got Eagles at number one. Uh, Now I know that they got a big game today later on this afternoon, evening, depending on where you live. Cowboys and Eagles. We'll talk about that, but I still got them at number one. I still have the Bengals. The Bengals are surging. They're right there, man. They could easily be number one because I feel like they can beat the Eagles too. Right? If they played straight up, I think they could. And I'm not sure. Did they play already this year? I don't know. I don't know if they played each other already because or maybe we didn't. Oh no, they didn't. They weren't on their schedule. So, um, but the Bengals for sure, man. Joe Burrow, I'll give him credit, man. I was not really a big fan of him. He had a really good late run last year, getting them to the Super Bowl, and then this year, when you're losing guys like Jamar Chase, significant guys in your, and you're still able to compete at a high level. This team isn't perfect. They're not like a sexy looking team, I guess, from the outside looking in. They can be beaten. Of course, I mean, any team can be beaten. But I do like, their coach. I do like their coach. I'll give them credit. I like their defense in the second half. And this team, last week, if it wasn't for a Tampa Bay collapse, they probably should have won that game. But the Bengals battled back on the road and got that dub. So we'll have to wait and see. But I can see them being the Eagles are like a 1A and then Bengals are like a 2-1, 1B or something like that. Both number ones, but for a top 10 rankings, you got to have 10 teams. So this is what we're at. All right. Kansas City Chiefs, rolling. I mean, like again, I say it every week. You got Andy Reid, you got Patrick Mahomes, you're gonna be good. You're gonna be good, right? Simple as that. Still not a fan of the defense on the back end. They can still get after the quarterback, but they can be had if you're an offense and you're a capable offense. You can get after them for sure. For sure, for sure, for sure. All right, Buffalo Bills again, week in, week out. It's the Josh Allen show. He will take them as far as he can go. Simple as that. Simple as that. And I know they beat the Chiefs earlier this year, but I feel like that game could go either way. So Niners at number 5. I have them moving up. Brock Purdy playing really well. Now, tough test today. We'll talk about that later on. They got the Commanders coming in now, but we'll have to wait and see. But I like where this team's at. Now, I do. What I don't like, though, is they're injury plagued, right? You got Debo's out. Christian McCaffrey, he's one play from being hurt, right? He got like 25, 26 carries in his last game, which is a lot for a guy that's injury plagued. Okay. But I like the defense. The defense is great. They can get after the quarterback, and I like their coaching. So like they're in my top 5. Cowboys have slid down. They had an opportunity to probably stay at number 2 or maybe slide to 3. But you lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars on the road, a game in which you probably should have won. You were up, 27-10 in the third quarter at some point, and you blow that game. And I have some things to say about that because I have to go back and retract maybe some things that I did say in a live that I did after the game because I was heated, right? But anyway, all right, Dolphins, they're on a 3-game losing streak. Hopefully they can get right tomorrow when they play the Green Bay Packers at home. But I like what they did, even in a losing effort, to go on the road, frigid environments, harsh conditions in Buffalo last week, Saturday, was it? I believe it was. And to almost pull that game out. Now, obviously, you can't be into moral victories too long because you got to start winning football games. Simple as that. But it showed to me that they can hang with the better teams in the National Football League. And they could have won that game if it wasn't for some questionable play calling, throwing on 3rd and 1 when you've been running the ball effectively. That probably cost them the game. But they stood toe-to-toe with one of the top teams in the AFC. And I think that should count for something, right? As far as right now, I still think they'll make the playoffs, obviously. But you got to start winning those games when you get into the playoffs. All right, Minnesota Vikings. This is the weirdest team. Their record is what? Excuse me, 11-3. And I don't trust them still. I just something about this team. They just kind of survive, man. And I know their fan base is like, oh, you're hating. And it's like, nah, I don't know, man. This team just to me does not do it for me. Simple as that. But, I'll give them respect. They're number 8. The Chargers kind of doing their thing a little bit. Justin Herbert playing unbelievable. This team's getting healthy. Now, again, this team has always been uber talented. It's their coach who's an F up. Okay? So it's going to happen. He's going to screw this up at some point. So, but I'll leave them at 9 for right now because they are playing incredibly well. And we'll have to wait and see that. Now they gotta go on the road and play Indianapolis. So a game they probably should win, right? The Colts are just reeling right now. But we'll have to wait and see. And the Lions making the top 10, man. They're surging. I believe they're what? They started like 1-6. And I believe they won like 6 or 7 in a row, if I'm not mistaken, right? You can fact check that for me. But they got a tough one. They got a tough one going into today, so we'll talk about that later on. But those are the Week 16 power rankings. Love them, like them, or leave them. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. So, all right, this is what we're here for. Let's talk about some predictions and this Christmas Eve game for today. We got the Saints taking on the Browns. Saints, very disappointing season. I really had high hopes for them, if I'm being completely honest, but they, for some reason, I don't know what's wrong with Jameis Winston. They don't want to play him. I don't know. I think it's probably time. They probably need a new head coach. This guy, Dennis Allen, haven't really heard a lot of people talking about him as far as being on the hot seat is concerned. But I would assume they're probably going to be looking to make a change. Okay, he's a defensive-minded coach. You got to have an offensive mind in the modern day football. It's a very offensive-driven type of league. You got to have offensive minds running the ship. Because those guys can cultivate quarterbacks. They can put you in the right situations, things of that nature. I mean, just looking at what Kyle Shanahan is doing with Brock Purdy, right? So we'll have to wait and see. But Deshaun Watson got his first win last week at home against the Ravens or Steelers. Was it Ravens or Steelers? Phillies or Ravens. I think the Browns will get this one going and they'll take that dub easily from the Saints. Falcons taking on the Ravens. Lamar Jackson still out. New quarterback again. Desmond Ridder almost came in and won the game last week. But if this game was in Atlanta, I would probably be more inclined to take the Falcons. But the game's at home for Baltimore. Tyler Huntley is a serviceable quarterback. I think the Ravens defense will kind of hold off the Falcons offense, and the Ravens will get the win here. Now, I don't know if this is true or not. I heard that Tyler Huntley is a backup for the Pro Bowl. Please, I don't know if I read that right or if I just was glancing it. If someone can check that for me, and if that's the case, that's a complete joke. Don't even get me talking about the Pro Bowl anyway, right? It's a flag game this year. Like who? No one was watching it before, and it essentially was a flag game, and now it is a flag game. So that's odd to me. So either get rid of it or I don't know. But anyway, that's another topic for another day. But Ravens at home taking the win. Now this could be a trap game. As one of those sleepy type looking ahead games. The Bengals coming off a very good come from behind win on the road in Tampa. Now they got to go up to the Northeast and play Bill Belichick, who arguably is probably coming off the worst loss in his coaching career. Okay. Oh, yeah. Barry, he did. Yes, he is a replacement. Wow. Tyler Huntley is a replacement. You mean there's no other quarterbacks? And and I'm getting sidetracked, but the Pro Bowl is supposed to, and no offense to Tyler Huntley, but it's supposed to honor and appreciate the top players in the league. So that's why if they can't play in it, just let them have the honor or don't have the game as well. Just like leave it alone. Or I think I read earlier this week, someone mentioned, I think it might have been Tyreek Hill, play the game mid-season and give everyone an extra bye week, right? Like how they do in the NBA or most sports, right? That way guys would probably, if you're going to make it a flag game, but I guess you can't even do that either. So don't even have the game. And you got guys like Dak Prescott, who's not even a replacement. He probably will eventually because some of these guys will fall off. And this is what bothers me too about the whole Pro Bowl situation is that like Kirk Cousins made it. It's like, what? I'm not saying he's not balling, but it's like, Jesus. It's going to be some random dudes that you're going to go pay to see that aren't really technically Pro Bowlers. And no offense to Tyler Huntley, but Jesus, come on, man. Makes no sense to me. But anyway, back to the Bengals and Patriots. So, arguably one of the worst losses in Patriots history. I did not quite understand um, what that one guy was thinking. They end up losing the game in such a terrible fashion. And you know what? The defense played, they did all they can do, right? Obviously, the Raiders have some offensive firepower, but offensively, the Patriots are inept. Bill Belichick is not an offensive guy. Matt Patricia, he does not need to be anywhere around a football team anymore. But for some reason, this game's going to be closer than what the spread is. I believe the spread is, oh, no, it's down to 3. So Vegas knows that this is going to be a close game, and it can go either way. But if I had to pick, I'm gonna take the Bengals just because of this fact. This is a clutch team. This is a clutch team, and I think they'll be ready to go. I think they know when you go to New England, it's something weird up there. Obviously, we know there's some cheating going on, so they're going to be on the lookout for that. I'm still going to take the Bengals in a close game, probably only winning by 1 or 2 points, and I think they'll have to come back and win this game. That's what I think, and I think the better quarterback is going to prevail. In this case, it'll be Joe Burrow over Mac Jones. So I like that. I like the Bengals, even though I think this game is going to be really, really close. All right, Bills and Bears. Excuse me. This opened up at, but today it's at -8 Bills, and I think that's fair. The Bears will play hard. They've shown that they can stand up to some of the top teams in the NFL. I mean, last week they were supposed to get blown out by the Eagles. They barely lose. Eagles pull away late. And I can see the Bills doing that too. Coming in, it'll be kind of a back and forth type of game a little bit. Justin Fields will run around, make some type of crazy play. Excuse me. But in the end, the Bills will just have too much. And I like the Bills to win this game. All right, Giants and Vikings. This one's going to be a tough one. You know what? I'm going to take the Giants to win this game, I think. I think the Giants have a good chance. You know, the Vikings defense is not anything to talk about. I mean, realistically. They can score, but the Giants have a really good defense, and they're coming on. They're coming on. They have one of the better defenses in the last, 6 weeks. And I think that will hold some water or hold some weight going into this matchup against the Vikings, who, they're a better offensive team than they are defensively. But I think the Giants' offense is just good enough with Saquon, Brian Daboll, doing a pretty good job there. Now, I know they've lost a couple. They came off they got a good win or big win, not good win, because I feel like the refs gave them that game last week Sunday against the Commanders. But defensively, they're one of the better defensive teams, and I can see the Giants winning this game. I'm going to take the Giants. All right, Lions and Carolina. Lions they're just riding a great win streak right now. Now they're going on the road. They're going to be playing Carolina, who's running the ball pretty effectively. And the Lions defense is just not good. They're just not good. And Jared Goff is not the same guy at home as he is on the road, even though I do like what they've done, right? They're still competing for one of those final playoff spots. They are favorite. They are favorite on the road, but for some reason I feel like Carolina will be able to kind of to do something to this defense, and Sam Darnold will get some opportunities to make some big plays down the field. So I'm going to go ahead and take the underdog in this one. I'm going to ride with the Carolina Panthers to win this game. But you know what? Honestly, man, I can't believe I'm going to say this because these are two teams that don't not a lot of star power. But this might be a game I might want to put up on another TV in my room just so I can keep an eye on it because I think it will be in the end competitive and it'll be a close game. All right, Seattle. Not sure what's happening to them. I believe they're about 7-6 or 7-7. They had a chance to win the NFC West, but they've kind of stumbled down this, the last couple weeks. Now they got a tough one. They got to go to Arrowhead, a very tough place to play. Geno Smith is still probably my comeback player of the year. Great story, doing what he's being able to do, but I think they're gonna take an L today to the Chiefs. Now I think the game will be close because, like I always say to people, the Seattle Seahawks and Pete Carroll's teams, and at least in the NFL, they travel very well. They play hard, man. You don't ever see the Seahawks just get flat out blown out. So, do they have a chance? Yeah, I think they have a chance. But in the end, I think the firepower, it would just be too much for them to hold on. And I like the Chiefs winning this game. All right, Texans and Titans. This one is going to be very interesting. Titans are favored at home, coming off of what they lost to the Chargers last week, if I'm not mistaken. Now you got the Texans. The Texans, who are not really a good football team, only one win all year. But they play everybody tough, man. I mean, they almost beat the Cowboys. They've almost beaten a lot of teams. They took the Chiefs to overtime. Now, Ryan Tannehill is not playing. He's out for the rest of the year. Enters, what's his name? Kevin Willis? I forgot the quarterback's name. The guy they drafted out of Liberty. I'm going to go on a limb here. I think the Texans can win this game. I really think they can. The last time I seen that quarterback Willis for Tennessee, he struggled, obviously. I'm not sure if he's going to be an NFL quarterback. And the Texans are playing hard. They're playing hard. This might be my shocker of the day. And I think if the Titans lose this game, they're pretty much done. I think they won't have enough to finish out the season because really all they have is Derrick Henry at this point. So I like the Texans in an upset today. I'll be on the lookout for that one. All right. Moving on, we got the Washington Commanders on the road taking on the San Francisco 49ers. This one's going to be a good one, right? You got Chase Young is coming back, first game back from his injury of last year, and this defense has been playing well too. Offensively, they're okay. They're a little average, right? But they can do some things with Heineke back there, and the Niners. Brock Purdy now there's got some tape on him. This is a very good defense. He's probably the best defense he's probably going to go up against since he's taken over for Jimmy G. But I feel like in the end, the Niners will have enough to withstand the Commanders, and they'll get the win because I feel Kyle Shanahan will put Brock Purdy in a good situation to make plays, which he's done so far. But this is going to be a good game to watch as well. I would pin this one as well. All right, we got the Dallas Cowboys at home taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. To me, this probably should have been flexed. Not sure why we're going to be watching the Las Vegas Raiders and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Who cares, right? NFL, I know you guys have the power to flex these. You probably should have flexed this game, right? Everyone's going to be watching this. I was really championing this because it would have been nice to be at home. You're wrapping up some gifts. You're drinking whatever, some eggnog or whatever the hell you drink, and you're watching the Cowboys and Eagles, two of the better teams in the National Football League, before you put the kids to bed. But now we're going to be sitting watching the sorry-ass Raiders and the sorry-ass Steelers. But anyway, storylines for this game, Eagles and Cowboys. Jalen Hurts not playing. Gardner Minshew, who has not had a lot of success against the Dallas Cowboys, coming in. Cowboys missing some players as well. Micah Parsons missed a lot of practice this week due to some illness. We just had one of the linebackers. He got in a car accident yesterday or the day before. LVE's out. Looks like he just had a stinger. So guys are going to have to step up. Cornerback play. Kelvin Joseph is getting benched. Thank God. Now the Cowboys did pick up some other guys in free agency in the last couple weeks. So we'll have to see what happens with those guys. Maybe T.Y. Hilton will have a bigger role tonight. Offensively, they're good. They're good. And I thought, I was really upset last week. And, Dak did not lose that game in retrospect. Now, he didn't make it easy, obviously, by throwing two pick sixes. Or not two pick sixes. Two interceptions, excuse me. Now, one of them, that pick six to end the game, really wasn't his fault. Noah Brown's got to come up with that. And then I went back and watched that third. Now, I did not agree with the call. I thought they probably should have ran the football to run out some more clock. But the throw was good. Noah Brown's got to make that catch. It was 3rd and 10. Was it overtime? Yeah. No. Regulation. 3rd and 10. I thought they should have ran the football to force the Jacksonville Jaguars to burn a timeout. But I get it. They were being aggressive. The ball was good. Noah Brown's got to catch that football. He's got to catch that football. You catch that football, game's over. We're not even talking about it. Dak is playing pretty well. Now, he'll get a lot of blame, and I'm back and forth with him. He does still need to clean up some things. But honestly, he gets a lot of blame. Why? Because he's making a lot of money. And he should get a lot of blame, right? At the end of the day, it's not even about Mike McCarthy, about Kellen Moore. Guys like that who are getting paid like that, you got to go out and perform. You got to go out and perform. And so, for the most part, he's been doing it. Um, they just got defense got to play better, but they're dealing with some injuries, and teams have been able to figure out Micah Parsons. So we'll see what happens tonight. The Eagles pretty much are still at full strength for the most part without their quarterback, which is the most important position on the field for both teams. We have ours, and we're at home, and I like the Cowboys to win. I like the Cowboys to split the season series with this team, and we'll see what happens later on tonight. But I'm going to take the Cowboys to win. Excuse me. Still going to be a close one, but I think the Cowboys will pull it out. All right, not going to talk about this one much. The Las Vegas Raiders, this is the nightcap tonight. On the road, taking on the Steelers. I like the Steelers. Raiders defense still sucks. They got a win last week that they probably shouldn't have had. And I'm not even hating on them. I think it was just a very fluky play. Kenny Pickett is playing a lot better. Their defense, Steelers defense, is really good. It's really, 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 really good. And I don't like the Raiders traveling from here in Las Vegas, where I live, to Pittsburgh. It's going to be tough. It's going to be cold. I like the Pittsburgh Steelers to win that game outright. All right. Green Bay Packers taking on the Miami Dolphins. This one could be interesting too, but I think the Dolphins end up winning. They just have more. They just have more going on. The Packers coming off of a win. Last week? Was it last week Sunday or Monday? I forgot when they played, but they recently played. But the Dolphins, I don't think they're not gonna drop 4 games in a row. They're just not gonna. I like what they're doing offensively. Need to tighten some things up. Run the football a little bit more. Run the football a little bit. You can do that. But I do like the Dolphins to win that game. All right. Denver Broncos taking on the LA Rams. Aaron Donald is not playing. He's been ruled out. I'm not sure who's playing quarterback for the Broncos these days. I know Baker Mayfield's still the quarterback for the LA Rams right now. But for some reason, I'm going to take the Denver Broncos today. And Broncos country, let's ride to a win today over the Rams. This game, I know on paper, when the schedule came out, it was like, oh wow, we get the Packers, Dolphins, Broncos, Rams, Bucks, and Cardinals, for on Christmas Day. Like, sign me up. But now looking at it, it's like, what a crappy schedule. Like, none of probably the most desirable game I'll probably want to watch is the first one, is the Packers and Dolphins. After that, it's like, who cares? Who really cares? I mean, Broncos they suck. Rams are not going to make the playoffs, obviously. Buccaneers, I mean, Tom Brady and his team, they're a shell of themselves. And Arizona doesn't have Kyler Murray anymore playing for them right now because he's hurt. So, like, really, who cares? So and that leads me to the Buccaneers and the Cardinals game. Buccaneers are just going to be better than them. And I'm pretty sure Tom Brady is going to be a little peeved that they lost last week. So they're going to give Arizona their best, and they should end up winning that game and moving on and trying to stay in that playoff hunt, right? Obviously, because Carolina, man, they could come back and win that division. Believe it or not, after everything they've been through, they can come back and win that division. So Tampa Bay needs to keep winning, but I think they should win easily tomorrow on Christmas Day. And finally, the Monday night game to wrap up Week 16, the Chargers taking on the Colts. If the Chargers do not win this game, my buddy Ben Cornett says he's a Bucks fan. Make sure you check out his show called The Ben Zone. I believe it's on Fridays, if I'm not mistaken, right, Ben? But he's a Bucks fan. He says Bucks will win by default. Yeah, essentially they will. Now, if they struggle against the Cardinals, you got some big problems. I mean, look, Tom Brady won't be there next year anyway. He's going to be moving on somewhere. All right, that's what he does. I was talking to a buddy of mine the other day. He made a good point. Tom Brady knows the situation. He knows the climate. He did it in New England when he felt like, you know what, this team is not going to do it anymore. I've done all I can do for this team. I'm moving on. So where does he go? He goes to Tampa Bay. They were loaded. Everyone was healthy, no injuries. Now this team, head coach kind of iffy. Injuries this season, obviously, he's probably looking at it, and he's made a couple comments saying they're not buttoned up, yada, yada, yada. I think he's setting up to go somewhere else. He's not retiring. Hell no, he's not retired. He's divorced now. He don't have to worry about that. He's going to go play. He's going to do what he loves to do, which is play football. But anyway, back to the Chargers. Lost my thought there. If they don't win this game against the Colts, I'm done with the Chargers. Like I'm officially done with the Chargers. You got to beat the Colts, and I get it. Any given Sunday, anybody can beat anybody. But come on, man, you want to be. I mean, who are they playing? Sam Ellinger. Sam Ellinger. I mean, come on. If you don't beat them, what are we doing? So I'm gonna take the Chargers to win this game. Ben says Gronk. Yeah, I did read that. Gronk said he posted that he was getting bored. He said that Gronk contacted the Bucks a month ago to come back, and the Bucks declined. You know what? And I feel that. From an organizational standpoint, it's like, dude, you can't. Oh, you're bored now. You want to come and play? Like, I get it. You're still good. You're a talent. Oh, Nick Foles is starting for the Colts. Okay. Ooh, I don't know. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I'm still gonna take the Chargers, but back to the Gronk situation. Like, this has become like a pattern. Like, dude, are you retired or not retired? You can't be coming back and forth like every minute because you're looking to see if you can make a run. Play football or not play football, man. Like, it's that simple to me. Like, play it and let teams know, hey, you know what? I'm not trying to really do, camp like that. Like, I'm just trying to chill. You know what I mean? And then you use me a little bit. But you can't be on TV one week and then you're like, oh, I'm bored now. I wouldn't hire the guy. Because you're inconsistent. So, good for the Bucks because at the end of the day, Tom Brady's leaving anyway. He's not staying in Tampa Bay. He might make a push to go back home to not New England, but to the Patriots. I mean, I'm tripping. The 49ers. We'll see. But they might like Brock Purdy. I don't know. Right? And they still got Trey Lance. So, because Jimmy G's he's done. He's out of the picture there. So we'll see. Or maybe does he go back to New England? But New England don't have the talent. So it's the reason why he left New England. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, Brand says, yeah, Gronk says he's special. I mean, he's one of the greatest tight ends to ever play the game. But this whole on and off thing, like, come on, man. Like, are you retired or not? It was cute. You came back and you helped win another Super Bowl with Tom Brady. Then you retired, and it's like, what are we doing here? So, all right, moving on. Clutch picks of the week. I sucked last week. I went 0-4. I had to go back and look. I was like, did I really go 0-4? And I did. I sucked. I really sucked. Now I'm at 20. I'm over. I'm 500 right now. I'm fighting for my life. I wish I had that R. Kelly clip. I'm out here fighting for my life. Because I am right now, man. I'm trying to get on the plus side. I want to finish the season above 500. That's the goal. It's not easy picking games, man. And I don't pick I try not to pick, gimmies, right? I try to make it a little bit difficult for myself. But this week you can see I got the Buccaneers, I got the Broncos, I got the Niners and the Cowboys taking some dubs today. Or as Jameis Winston so brilliantly said it, we're going to eat a win today. I'm going to eat a win or whatever he said. Eat a dub, right? What a cringy pregame speech. But anyway, so 0-4 last week, looking to improve. We got comments here. Ben says, I got 2 upsets this week, Giants over Vikings. Yeah, me too. You probably didn't catch that part of my show, but I did pick the Giants over the Vikings and the Texans over the Titans. I really feel like those teams are primed for some upsets today. I should have went with them with the clutch picks of the week, but I was trying to. I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm trying to protect myself too, man. I ain't trying to go 0-4 again. I'm trying to get on the 500 side. So I took the Broncos. The Cowboys game can go either way, right? The Niners. Probably the only sure thing on this clutch picks of the week is probably the Buccaneers. I think when the Buccaneers touch down in Phoenix today at Sky Harbor Airport, they win the game. They win the game by default. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But that's it, man. That's all I got today. So that's it. Happy holidays to you guys, man. Hope you guys enjoy your Christmas Eve. Make sure you spend time with those that you love. Family, friends, it doesn't matter who, just be safe if you do drink. But this is a time not just for gifts, obviously. It's a time for reflection and being with those loved ones that you care so much about. So especially if you lost people this year, it could be a hard time for people. our families in general. So just make sure you guys love on each other and make sure, you take care of each other and check on everyone else, man. Happy holidays to you, my friend Ben, and everyone else in the chat, man. Hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas. We'll be back next week. It'll probably be the same deal, right? New Year's Eve games. I don't. What's the schedule next week? Anybody know the schedule? Is it the same thing? Is it on Saturday? Oh, so no. They're back. So New Year's Day, we're back to normal. So I will be back on Sunday for the regular schedule of NFL Sunday morning because New Year's Eve is going to be college football. College football. So the NFL will slide over to go back to Sundays, and we'll have a full slate of games to talk about there as well. But nonetheless, man, hey, enjoy. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to you all. I will see you guys back next week, Sunday. This is Clutch Sports Talk, NFL Sunday morning with me, Ryan Flowers. Never settle till the work is done. Peace out. Happy holidays. Merry